There we go. Hey, hopefully this works. Good evening, Shaggy SoCal with 2Old4Forza for the next installment of TNT Track Guides in the Hoonigan Focus. Um, Very interesting week last week. Again, still learning more about how much this car understeers and how small the gas tank is. But I think we've come to kind of the consensus that this car seems to really do better at the point and shoot kind of tracks where there's slow corners, punch it out of the corner versus flowy flowy maintained speed racetracks like Brands Hatch. I think even to extent Lime Rock. But so for next week, for this coming Thursday, uh, one of the two races is going to be here at Le Mans Bugatti circuit. um, kind of in between. It is more of a natural terrain circuit. It's not like a street circuit with a lot of sharp corners, but it does have sharper corners. So I think this one cheats a little more towards the point and shoot versus flowy road course. So hopefully that get some good racing here. But what I'm going to do is here I'm still on my wheel. I got my web camera going. Hopefully everything's all synced up. But I'm going to do what I always do. I'll run a couple of out laps, talk a little bit there. I'll do a slower lap to kind of break down things I'm looking for with this car, what I think works, and then I'll run a mock race to kind of see what a race might around here might look like. So let's go ahead and go into test drive and get going. Turn up my volume a little bit. Cold tires. Second gear through the Le Mans or the Dunlop chicane. This one, I think, is going to. These next couple of corners, I think, are going to cause a lot of issues as far as getting them right consistently. Like for me, this one. Heavy braking. Could have been a little bit better. Sliding in there a little bit. I'm going to do one more flyer just to kind of refresh my memory. All right. So I'm going to brake at the camera boom or the lamp there. Still a little bit late. And I am probably being a little conservative here. Out a little bit wider than the line suggests because I get a little straighter of an exit, though I gotta watch the upshift. And that's Kind of two flyers there. So let's talk about the lap. So going on the front stretch, heading towards the Dunlop chicane. What I think is working, and I haven't figured out the gearing yet, is I'm braking right about where that light pole is. And I guess that's the course condition light for pit exit. It's somewhere around in there. I am giving a quick little break. It kind of lines up with it'll if you do cheat out enough, it'll kind of line up with the white line there uh, on the side of the track. But it is a quick break. What I'm not sure of, and I'm still trying to figure out whether it's you're going to brake to slow the car down a little bit, and you could probably leave it in fourth, or you could downshift to third, up to you. But I'm trying to get the braking done just as I get past the second line there for pit exit, the blend line. And then I'm just kind of being off the gas, really not rolling back in, maybe feathering it, just bringing the car across so that I exit on the right side of the track here, so I'm lined up for the Dunlop chicane. So braking for the Dunlop chicane is going to be, I think, at that, if my memory serves correctly, is that big total sign that's off at the pit, the pit lane exit wall. That's what I'm kind of using. Is that's going out of frame. That's about where I'm going to hit the brakes. Again, with this car, despite the race brakes, despite with the increased pressures, depending on what you're running, we do have to. At least I'm finding I'm having to brake earlier into a corner with this car than most of the other race cars that we've done. So if you're either in third or fourth at this point, you're going to downshift. It is down to second. And again, Dunlop chicane, it is again left-right combo. So always, the initial turn is not as important as the second, because the second one leads on to somewhat of a straight. But second gear, I'm going to try and use as much curving as the game's going to let me without track limits, so that I open up the curve, for the second part of the Dunlop chicane, and it can use the curving on the way out. Now, for me, as I'm carrying, and again, I'm trying to carry as much speed through here as possible. Um, but at the same time, I don't want the car washing out. So it's like I'm really not getting back onto the throttle until I'm well past the apex, and I'm almost starting to track out. Usually, it's again one of two things you'll see me do. It's either I'm gonna really just kind of gently let the car roll out and then roll back into the throttle, or if I really want to, it's like this is one of those cases I always joke about. It's like the gas pedal's not a light switch. You want to be progressive and not really commit back until you know that you don't have to take the foot off the accelerator again. This is one of those. It's slow enough that if you punched it in second gear a little bit out of this apex, it will get the back end to kick out a little bit, but it's going to be a nice four-wheel drift because the front tires are still going to pull the car forward. You can do that to get the back end to rotate and straighten the car out and go down the track. I don't know if that would be consistently faster than just doing a traditional and rolling back into the throttle, but it's just, again, tools in your toolbox. But either case, I'm going to be on the left side here. Crest the hill, I'll be up in third gear. This is the turn, one of the couple turns I'm still trying to figure out. What I'm finding is, again, I'm not braking until I'm a little bit further down, based on where the tire barriers, the blue and yellow tire barriers are on the left side. But I think with this car and just the way it handles, I'm actually having to brake just as I clear the painted, the painted curbing here on the left. As soon as that point goes to all asphalt, I'm usually braking way back here to start to try and get the car slowed down, because it will. And again, my line in is I'm kind of braking across the track to the inside, so I'm diamonding the corner a little bit. I've tried I've tried staying out wide a little bit, maybe really try to do a later apex on the exit of this curve, and it's consistency wise. If I get my braking wrong and I'm out too far on the left side, I don't have any real runoff room. I'm going to go wide and go off. So I find it's just better to brake it straight across, you know, into the inside curbing down to second, and then just really try to hold, as best I can, hold to the inside through the curve. I may drift out a little bit again because the front's going to plow just ever so slightly as the tires lose a little grip. And I'm just going to kind of let the car do the work, just kind of balance with the throttle. And I'm looking for where the curbing turns solid yellow, where it's that solid yellow portion that's just going to go to the point. Once I'm kind of reaching there, if I've got the car in the right position, I'll be able to start rolling back into full throttle on exit and let the car come out to the left side here, bring it back to the right. And the next corner is you're going to brake right as you get to the gantry that I'm just under right now. Another one of these, third gear down to second. I'm kind of really trusting the braking line to kind of help guide me into this corner. As you can kind of see, it's kind of this weird oblong, you know, I would say it's probably an increasing radius turn. The entry is sharper than the exit. But I'll still probably be a little wide, try to get it, into the inside here. And what I'm still trying to find as far as targeting my exit, where I can start to let the car, kind of commit back to the throttle and let the car kind of, unwind the wheel and let the car come back out on the exit, is I'm kind of looking for that last tree on the outside of the corner. So once I kind of see that tree, I can kind of use that to help bring the car out so that I'm kind of to the right side as I'm kind of getting to it. It's I don't know if that's consistently what I'll be using, but it's something that I can clue in on. Of like, it's because this one's always tough to tell. Like, when do I commit back to the throttle? When can I get back on full throttle? That might be helpful as I'm coming down to the next hairpin. This one here, actually, let me back up a little bit. What I'm looking for, and now that I'm looking slow, what's easier for me to see is if you look, you'll see the course condition light on the boom that comes over the fencing. But just past that, you'll see the tall, kind of like the Armco lighting, or whatever that, as far as lighting for the track. That track lighting, that pole, that's the first thing I'm trying to spot as I'm coming down to this next hairpin. It's kind of an initial guide as far as, again, static reference points. The braking for me is just as that goes out of view. And it's right about kind of about where the 50 and when the 50 board. It's harder for me to see the 50 board than it is the pole. So it is definitely as that goes out of view, probably, but definitely maybe about halfway between that and where the green curbing starts. So you've got a little, you'll have to figure out what works best for you. But if you're going to try and brake right where that curbing starts up ahead, I think that's probably too late and you're going to push wide. So try and brake a little bit early. It is down to second gear. Sorry, I had a long day today. What I'm going to do is, turning in for the hairpin, I'm going to try and follow the braking line in for the first part, but I'm going to let the car come out a little bit wide. Again, front wheel drive car, it's got a lot of power like that, which means when I get to the gas, it's going to want to understeer and push out of the corner. So if I can maybe take that a little bit normally, open this up a little bit and square up the corner and late apex on the way out, so where I can get the car turned and I have a straighter exit out, I can probably, fingers crossed, get back to the throttle sooner and carry more speed down this next straightaway. So again, late apex, probably won't be getting, again, much like the other corners, really won't be getting back to the throttle until I get past the apex. Third gear, fourth gear. I don't think we get to fifth at all in this car. Start to bring it back across to the right. Next chicane. Where I'm braking for this one is right about the 100 board. Again, and that 100 board also lines up the beginning of the curbing. Again, much like the Dunlop chicane, first part of this is less important than the second. So really, really focus on getting a good line into the first part of the chicane because it'll help you carry the maximum speed out. So brake, 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 brake. I think I'm going down to second here. I'm turning in probably just as I get past the sign here with the arrows that's telling us that we have to turn. So just as that goes out of view, I'll start to turn in. Again, kind of feathering the throttle, use as much curb as there as possible, because that'll open this one up to where I can get back to the throttle, up third gear. Final set of quarters. The braking for this is right, and I'm braking a little bit too late. For me, the braking is right where the curbing starts. I'm pretty sure of my recollection. So it's normally in past cars where we've been here, I'd be looking at the course condition light there on the left, just behind the tire barriers and using that. But this car just does not want to stop. So it's right back about where the curbing is. So third gear for me down to second. I may do a late turn in here because I like bringing the car and having it exit on the right as soon as possible. So I'm lined up for the next corner. Again, this corner is more important than the one I just came out of. Second gear, balance the throttle. Bring the car all the way out. You might get to third. This one, I don't know. You might put it to third. You might just wind it out in second. All I know is that braking for the last is the last corner is definitely a second gear corner, and you're going to brake just as you pass the blend line for pit lane. So this blend line, the white line that you kind of see right in front of the car, that's my mark. As soon as that goes out of view, I'm down second gear, bring the car out, clip the curbing here, let the car go all the way out. You can cross over the white line a little bit. Again, feather the throttle, get on the apex, then floor it out. And that's a lap of Le Mans Bugatti. It's not too different than when we were last year in the Honda CRXs, but those CRXs had a little bit more play in the rear than this car does. So you have to just adjust your driving accordingly. So that being said, let's get out of here and finish test drive. And pardon me while I get a little beverage. I'll set that there. Okay. So for tonight's race, I'm guesstimating. And this is the experiment because I think this is the other thing we're trying to figure out is how many laps can you do on a tank, and how many laps are going to be in the race, and then how does that affect pit strategy? Um, I'm going to do 21 laps based off some test laps that I've done where I think that's about what we're going to do. I still think that may be a lap or two too long. We'll see what the end race timer looks like. Um, but yeah, this car gets similar. You're going to get similar laps out of this car here that like we did at, where were we? Oh, at Brands Hatch last week. So it's about 7 laps. I don't think you can get much more out of that unless you're purposely going to try and short shift. So let's go ahead and start race again. Same buckets, same AI, same delays, and let's get started. Well, I was going to say, I wonder, that would be the experiment. If I had the telemetry up, is hold the throttle down until the race starts, and have I used any fuel at that point? But um, eh, we can experiment with that some other time. Seconds. I hate waiting. Ooh, Porsche Spider. All right, 21 laps. So again, at least for my own sanity, I don't think I can do more than 7. So it's definitely another 2-stopper. Look how fast that drains. Let's see if I get this right this time. Might be able to get on the throttle a little bit sooner. Get the car out a little bit more. Ah, that was a little too far. And you can use a little bit of that exit curbing. It will upset the car a little bit, but that's a little bit late. Ooh. So you can see you can use a lot of curbing without violating track limits. A little too wide. A little better of an exit. Yeah, still a little bit late on the entry to that chicane. I think I might, even though it's only for a second, popping that up to third might be better. I'm going to totally overcook the tires in this corner just so you can hear what it sounds like. If that's the sound your car is making when you're going through that corner, you are overdoing it on your tires. That's my opinion, but I think you're seriously overdoing it on your tires. And you can get a little bit of that high-pitched squeal, and it's just. But if you're getting a lot of pronounced squeal and you're putting a lot of steering into your wheel, you're not helping yourself there, and that might be part of the reason why some of you are not getting as good gas mileage. Because if you're trying to then compensate for that tire squeal by adding throttle, that was a probably a little braked a little too early there. That's about as close as you want to get on that without crossing track limits. A little too late on the brakes there. Yeah, it just needed to lift a little bit at the apex just to keep the car in the groove. Otherwise, if I'd have held the throttle there, I would have pushed wide. All right. 34.3. Yep, a little wide there, but hopefully it can salvage it. Just because the car will buck a little bit if I get on the curbing. You know, I'm trying to keep it neat and tidy on the exit of that hairpin. Two. So 34 to 22, what, 12%? Let's see. I know, I just realized I don't have quick stops on. So I was in free play and it was in free play with test drive, or I went to a track that didn't have pits and I just forgot to put the quick stops on. Oh well. Well, I'll have to stop. It was a 22. Kind of one of those. All right, pit lane. Oh, that's doing it wrong. All right, so don't use that blend line as your braking zone. We'll get another shot at that. So on a controller, when I did test laps here, let me look at my notes again. Um, yeah, so it's like I got 7 laps easy, and it sputtered on me with the controller as I was heading down the straight to the tight hairpin about halfway through the lap, and I was able to coast it back to get it back to the pits. But it's kind of one of those like I don't know. Again, depending on how many laps there is, I'm not sure if it's worth trying to do any kind of fuel saving to maybe get that uh that eighth lap. And again, we'll be using the main pit lane, and it's probably braking right about where that same total sign is to get through here, second gear. I'm going to do a little change pace here since I have to pit twice and I have no idea if they do, and I don't want this to become a glorified hot lapping session. I mean, it kind of is, but I mean, I want some. Part of this is I do want a little bit of traffic to run through. Um, you know, again, hot lapping is fine to figure out pace and figure out line and how many laps you can do, but yeah, I need to have some traffic there so I can kind of navigate through it, maybe look at where openings might be as best as I can, short of the practice that we do during the week. So I'll let the AI through. Good. They are nice and bunched together. All right. Okay, I should be able to out-accelerate him if I get a good run out of here. Oh, I got to run in the Mazda. Oh, excuse me. One wide. And that's why I don't like getting on the curbing if I can help it out of that corner, because I'm in second gear and it's then very easy to miss the shift to third. There's no need to force a pass when I can just when I can just out accelerate him here, but try this again. No need to force a pass when I can out accelerate him here. A little bit late. I might have been able to get by him, but it would have been right at the braking. And again, move. I looked down. I looked down at the speedometer and wasn't paying attention. That was I was thinking about trying to swing it back to the right and go around him on the right side, but then I got off the curbs. Oh, I ran into him. Let's see if I can four-wheel drift it a little bit out of the Dunlop chicane. It's probably a little bit more than I would want to do if I was going to try that. Again, it's getting on the throttle hard enough just to get the back end to slip out. But second gear, you can get the back end to step out if you need it to. Just make sure you got plenty of room. All right, how are we doing on fuel? Oh, that was a late lunge. Just way overcooked the brakes there. We'll see if the game gives me a warning. It doesn't when I'm going in anyway. First gear. I'll figure pit lane out eventually. But it does catch you late, so it is kind of where it would catch you on the Circuit de la Sarthe. I might have been able to get 8 laps out of that, though. I wonder how much of that, again, that might just be I'm getting that much, that little bit of fuel saving that I would need for 8 laps I'm getting because I'm having to run in traffic and can't run the flat out pace that I've been running. Push, push, push. A little bit late there. Oh. Well, since I'm so far to the inside, just put it to first there to help get the car out of the corner. Probably turned in a little bit too early there. Just not getting the car slowed down enough with some of these. Or slowed down a little too much. So that's fourth gear, then drop 2 for the Dunlop chicane. Excuse me, new wheel. So it's real, that's going to be a real tempting corner to try and dive bomb in on. Just, if you're going to do that, you got to make sure you get the car slowed and that you don't. The other guy knows that you're going to do that too in some cases. This isn't a car that you can really fire into a corner. So, you hear the old adage of slow in, fast out. Definitely something you should do with this car. It seems to like that better. Because again, if you fire it in with too much speed, you're really not going to get any help from the front tires when you try to turn. almost at 35 minutes now. Now, granted, you know, from a race timing perspective, I started a minute behind. Then I also sat for almost a minute and a half waiting for the AI to go through. So 20 laps might be 19 or 20. It's still a two stopper. At least that way, you know, if it's like, you know, 20 laps here, we're at 35. I think 20 laps is probably what we're looking at. Ah, messed that one up. All right. Whoop. See if we can beat that 38.8. Last lap. Probably lost a tenth or so there. Oh no. That's right. I'm a lap down, aren't I? Sorry, I was just looking at the green car behind me going, that's not Drivatar AI. That's the really crappy AI, post-race AI. And yeah, I'm pushing because I'm worried too much about getting run off the road. Then I'm running myself off the road. Yeah, see? All right, fine. So the Mod Bugatti. Yeah, so road course, but it drives more like, you know, like kind of like a point and shoot. So hopefully we'll get some good racing here. And again, with the point and shoot nature, it's really I would looking at someone going wide and then getting the run going out of a corner so that you're really set up to stick a pass rather than, you know, trying to stick your nose in onto braking. That's just my opinion. But anyhow, that's the my Bugatti. Yeah, 138.8. Yeah, again, yeah, this was a little wonky race for me. You know, race timer 38:22. Figure I started a minute behind. Take another thing. Yeah, 21 laps is a little long. It might be 19 to 20. Could be as few as 18, but I think regardless, it's still going to be a two stopper. And again, that it's 7 laps easy, 8 laps depending on, again, I think depending on how much traffic you're in, because if you're in traffic and someone's holding you up, or you're working on it, you're not going to be using as much throttle. So you might be able to squeak an eighth lap out, but I don't know. Aside from maybe a, a fuel strategy or pit strategy, depending on the laps, it's still, I think, going to be a two stopper for all of us. So with that, I'm going to end this stream for a little bit, take a break. And actually, I probably won't run track guide for, where's the other place? Oh, yeah, Mugello Club Circuit. So I'll probably do that tomorrow morning before the Super Bowl. And hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl on Sunday, and happy racing.